sun is crashing, the heavy eyes ain't long resting. Oh, and I will recall all the nights we spent out long. It's getting cold, that sun is crashing, heavy eyes ain't falling for resting. Screaming to the driveway when my foot stuck on the gas. Mixed up in a Dixie cup, but you hopped into the man. She said, oh, you got it stole, but getting it too late. I feel like here, they can't wait, just always held by my side. Well, she sing shotgun with her hair done, with the seat swinging back in the radio on the back streets, in the back seat. Those baby blue eyes still there and bleed, whether it's in park or it's in town. I love when she rides. So we hit that ground running, throw a cross into the wind. And it wasn't long for that drink was gone. She was singing that house again. She said, find somewhere dark where we can party. Put my hurting on this bottle. So we sing goodnight to the city lights, kicking in full throttle. Well, she sing shotgun with her hair done, with the seats looking back in the radio on the back streets, in the back seat. Those baby blue eyes do man feed, whether it's in park or it's in drive. I love when she rides. When she sings shotgun with her hair done, with the seats leaning back in the radio on the back streets, in the back seat. Those baby blue eyes still back in me, whether it's in park or it's in drive. I love the way she rides. The way she rides. The way she rides. The way she rides. Look at me, so damaged and destroyed. This world's plan and its ploys to take me out. I'm on a highway directly to the moon, with no plans on stopping soon, leaving town. Them Christians are talking so often of coffins, no heavens could top this moment now. My foot out the window with my flask halfway full, I may have to pull over soon. I can't afford a motel, but the floorboards will work well. I'll sleep there till tomorrow afternoon. Then I'll get on the road again, let another chance at fitting in. But fitting in, the kids like me is dying. But I know when I'm with you, after one shot at 22 and a cigarette, I feel like I'm flying. And Christians are talking so often of coffins, no heavens could top this moment now. I searched and I found, to get to that night cloud, we must trek through some dark and troubled ground. Today we all, once or twice, once in this life, just look around. just a step to get to where I am on this night cloud. We're screaming, feeling good again. Just past 3 or 4 a.m. I'm talking like the sun will never rise. But the sun will crest the trees and bring this devil to his knees as it outlines a silver in the sky. Them Christians are talking so often of coffins. No evidence to top this moment now. I've searched and I've found to get to that night cloud. You must trek through some dark and troubled ground. So there we are, once or twice, once in this life, just look around. Usually I'm a wreck, but the hard times are just a step to get to where I am on this night cloud. So damage and destroy this world's plans and its ploys to take me out. I'm on a highway directly to the moon, with no plans on stopping soon, leaving town.
Just an old beat up truck, some say that I should trade up now that I got some jangle in my pocket. But what the dog will understand is it's the miles that make a man on trade that thing in boys and rocket. What they don't know is my dad and me, we drove her out to Tennessee. She's still here now, he's gone. So I hold on. It's just an old beat up box, 6 whiskey strings across the top. The private don't look like last year. But these things and scratches in the wood, yeah, that's what makes it sound so good. To me, it's better than brand new. You see us here in my Tommy Toms, had my back in a really far, singing every country song. So I hold on. So if you ever worry about me walking up, yeah, let me tell you something. I hold on. I hold on. Can you hear me, baby? I hold on. Yeah.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Prune Packer Baseball. Before we start our game with the starting lineups, we want to welcome out to the field our featured sponsors, families from Draxton Wines, Bradley Blanchard, sons Madison and Bradley, Matt Humphrey, sons William and Sydney, and Wyatt Wagner, all going to be coming out, and we're going to get a first pitch here from this great crew. Look at these guys. These guys are ready for some baseball. We've got Madison and Bradley Blanchard. We've got William and Sydney Humphrey and Wyatt Wagner. They decided who was going to throw that first pitch. All right, here we go. We're going to take some turns here. All right, gentlemen, when you're ready. There's one. There's two. You're putting these Prune Packers to the test today. Congratulations, great job. Bradley Blanchard, sons Madison and Bradley, Matt Humphrey, William and Sydney, and Wyatt Wagner, all out there. Looks like a great day for these young budding athletes. Draxton Wines, our featured sponsor tonight. We'll talk a little bit more about them as we go. Well, on behalf of the historic Healdsburg Prune Packers, we welcome you to Art McCaffrey Field and to the Clarence Rivera Stadium. Tonight, we once again welcome the Lincoln Potters, who will be taking on our Healdsburg Prune Packers. I want to give the starting lineups for both teams, starting with the Potters. From the University of Nevada, Reno, their DH, number 13, Jared Breedwell. From Sierra JC, shortstop, number 7, Zachary Chamizo. For the Potters, left fielder, number 34, JT Walden. From Baylor University, right fielder, number 30, Cole Tremaine. From Sacramento State University, center fielder, number 21, Garrett Crenshaw. From University of New Mexico, second baseman, number 16, Chase Wiesenborn. From Long Beach State's third baseman, number 2, Brennan Roselle. From Oklahoma Baptist University, catcher, number 33, Troy Shields. From CSU Monterey Bay, first baseman, number 29, Casey Bogan. And for CSU Bakersfield, on the mound pitching, number 20, Trevin Crowley, the Lincoln Potters. Now the starting lineup for the Healdsburg Prune Packers. For the Packers in center field, number 1, Jake Holcroft. From Texas Tech University, left field, number 12, Zach Vuletich. For the Packers, third baseman, number 6, Joe Kramer. From University of New Mexico, DH, number 15, Braden Runyon. From Washington State University, first baseman, number 2, Sam Brown. From Texas Tech, right fielder, number 18, Sam Hunt. From St. Mary's College, catcher, number 7, Blake McDonald. From UC Berkeley, second baseman, number 10, Carson Crawford. From Texas Tech University, shortstop, number 3, Loudon Brooks. And on the mound, from the University of Michigan, number 26, Noah Renard. Healdsburg Prune Packers. Now, if you all please rise for the singing of our national anthem, Stephen Kent. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner Stephen Kent. Great job, Stephen. Little note on Saturday, August 27th, 7 p.m., Cash and King. Stephen Kent will bring the music of Johnny Cash and Elvis Presley back to the stage. Don't want to miss it, August 27th. Thank you again, Stephen Kent. Our ball boy, Jacob Wood, and his protege, Ruben Fischer, working the dugout tonight. And of course, as you can tell, Healdsburg Community Band is here. It's Wednesday night.
Tonight marks Game 1 of the final homestand of the season for the first place Healdsburg Prune Packers as they take on the Lincoln Potters. Hello and welcome to the broadcast, everybody. I'm Hayden Weber alongside Andy Campbell. Prune Packers have a 5.5 game lead on first place in the CCL North with about a week left in the regular season. Major CCL implications here tonight. Packers could clinch the North with a win here over the Potters. What do you make of that, Andy?
Well, it's an important win, as you mentioned, trying to confirm that seeding for the team going forward and coming back after just taking a loss to the Potters. It's going to be important to bounce back, not only for the rest of the season, but for this game in particular.
Going with one of their best foot forward here on the mound, the righty Noah Renard out of Michigan. Renard making his 5th start of the season. This will be his 8th appearance. He's 2-0. Get a look at his stats there on your screen. 21 2/3, 26 strikeouts, and the number that jumps out, just 4 walks.
That is pretty impressive.
University of Reno, DH number 13, Jared Breedwell.
When you're able to find that zone at that sort of rate while striking people out, it's super impressive.
Fastball, curveball, changeups, which you're going to get with Renard out there. Used to seeing that teal glove that he wears out there. And like you mentioned, Andy, the Packers suffered a tough loss last night, 7-5 at McBean Stadium. Game was tied in the bottom of the 8th inning, and JT Walden, who's batting third in the lineup, delivered the 3-run blast off of Ed Sardi in that game. Now up steps Jared Breedwell, the DH. First pitch on the way. Grounded over to third. Kramer's got it. We'll fire on to first in time for a quick 1-pitch, 1-out.
American Potters from CRJC. Shortstop, number 7, Zachary Chamizo.
If you're looking to jump ahead early, you want this guy to have a solid long start and getting that first pitch, first out. It's going to be important in doing so.
With that, that'll bring up the shortstop, Zach Chamizo. Chamizo was aboard pretty much all night last night. With that, we'll take a look at the defensive alignment here for your Prune Packers. This one's hit hard. Into right center field, it gets down. Chamizo takes a big round around first and thought about going to second after there was appeared to be a bobble out there from Sam Hunt, but Chamizo stays put there with a 1-out single.
JT Walden.
As mentioned, a little bit bobble there from Sam Hunt, but luckily the runner not able to advance off of that defensive mistake.
And here is JT Walden. This was the Potters' hero from last night. Walden, 357, first pitch swinging, smokes it, deep left center field. Holcroft moving to his right, he's got it for out number 2.
Batter next from Baylor University, right fielder number 30, Cole Tremaine.
It was a quality drop to range out, covered a lot of ground there on that very high fly, but able to secure that second out. And now with the runner on, we'll see if we can get out of this top of the first unscathed.
Here's the right fielder, Cole Tremaine. First pitch is a called strike. Potters are aggressive so far against Noah Renard. As 2 of the first 3 batters swung at the first pitch. Cuts on and misses there, and the count is 0-2.
That's the efficiency we've expected to see from him, you know. And as you mentioned, that great strikeout to walk ratio. And so we're looking to see if he can continue to pound the zone in this start here.
The 0-2 breaks off the plate. Tremaine listed as a pitcher on the Potters roster. Skies this one deep center field. Holcroft's under it. And he's got it for out number 3. Despite giving out a 1-out base hit, no Renard. The pretty nice and easy top of the first. We're still scoreless. Be back with the Prune Packers at the bottom of the first. Coming up after the break.
And the community band is here tonight, sounding great.
Bottom of the first coming at you from Rec Park in Healdsburg, California. Righty on the mound is Trevin Crowley for the Lincoln Potters, and with that, the defensive alignment for them. Left to right in the outfield, J.T. Walden, Garrett Crenshaw, Cole Tremaine. Third to first on the infield, Brendan Rozelle, Zach Chamizo, Chase Wiesenborn, Casey Vogan, and doing the catching for Crowley is Troy Shields. And the starting 9 for the Prune Packers.
Leading off with Jake Holcroft, next Zach Vuletich in left field, followed by Joe Kramer, Braden Runyon in the cleanup tonight, with Sam Brown, Sam Hunt, Blake McDonald, Carson Crawford, and 9-hole Loudon Brooks.
Well, the Lincoln Potters took it right to the Packers last night early on. They got up to a 3-0 lead after the first 2 innings. Let's see if the Packers can return the favor here tonight.
This is a team that it's really important for them to jump ahead early. They sort of have a sporadic scoring style, score a lot in a couple innings throughout the game, so if they can get one sort of early here in the ballgame, it can be really beneficial for them.
Bottom of the first inning for the Prune Packers, center fielder number 1, Jake Holcroft.
And this is start number 1 for Trevin Crowley. He's in his 11th appearance of the season for the Potters. Sports a 2-1 record. An ERA at an even 3, and he's punched out 10 and 12 innings of work. But something to look out for is the base on balls. He's walked 12 batters this season. Here's Holcroft. First pitch takes outside for ball 1.
As you mentioned, a reliever getting the start here, something that we've been tending to see more of later in the season, especially if they're performing well in the relief role.
Holcroft hits it hard left side, fielded by Rozelle. Fires to first, and the throw is offline. Holcroft's in.
Manager, Texas Tech University, left fielder, number 12, Zach Vuletich.
An offline throw to the right there. Still almost able to lay a tag on that extra speed that Holcroft has. Able to elude the glove and get there with a single. Most likely, actually, a 6.
Here's Vuletich getting the start out in left tonight. First pitch on the way. This is downstairs. Holcroft stays put.
Vuletic sporting a .505 on base percentage this year. Pretty fantastic stuff on getting on base.
Absolutely. 329 average, 4 homers. He's driven in 20. Hit safely in 7 of his last 8. He's also recorded an RBI in 7 of his last 8. This one runs inside. Last night, Zach was 2 for 4. Drove in a run and scored. Crowley checks Holcroft there at first. A threat to run leads the team with 14 stolen bases. This one gets away from Shields. Holcroft will easily advance on up to second.
With that, let's take a look at our stolen bases leaders for the Packers. As you mentioned, up ahead, Jake Holcroft, followed by Jared Sundstrom, and Sam Hunt has been climbing the ranks now with 8 this year.
So the count's going to be 3-0 here to Vuletic. On deck is Joe Kramer. And Crowley steps off. The Packers 4-2 in their 6 meetings against the Potters this year. Take a look at your screen there. And this one once again gets away from Shields. Holcroft takes third, and Vuletic is aboard with a walk.
Their third baseman, number 6, Joe Kramer.
First start of the year for him here, and already finding some struggles after Holcroft was able to squeak on, and 2 wild pitches. Now runners at the corners here for one of the best bats in the league here, Joe Kramer.
So if the Packers can get the win tonight, not only would they clinch the North, but they would secure, at the very least, a winning record head-to-head against the Potters, because if Lincoln wins tonight and then again on Monday in Lincoln, the season series would finish in a 4-4 split. Runners at the corners, nobody out for Joe Kramer. Runner takes off with the pitch. The throw is way late. Stolen base, Vuletic. Stolen base number 8 for Zach.
And that's why he's penciled in near the top of the order. Got that plus speed, able to swipe a bag. No force play opportunity with such a powerful bat. It's looking pretty promising to get a run across for the Packers.
That pitch was a called strike. Counts 0-1 to Kramer. 45 RBI leads the CCL. This one misses just off the plate.
In these last 5 games, 15 runs batted in. That's just offensive contribution, especially right now. A really good hot streak and great time to get hot for him.
Absolutely. The 10 homers and 389 batting average. Also top 3 in the CCL. Really nice breaking ball. Can't find the zone. So he could very feasibly finish with a triple crown if he can kind of keep things going.
He's been looking great, and as you mentioned, that really high batting average, and this is his 40th game in the season played. This is no longer a small sample size of at-bats. He's been consistently doing this day in and day out, getting on base, and it's been really impressive to watch.
Next pitch misses way outside. Counts 3-1. Crowley struggling to find the zone here. No shame in pitching around Kramer. Hit safely in 7 straight home games. And during that 7-game home game stretch, 12 for 24, 5 homers. And he's driven in 18 runs.
Absolutely absurd. And this is, as I mentioned, a great time to really heat up when you're sort of down the stretch here, trying to secure that first week bye in the CCL, as well as just ride that momentum into the postseason.
Yeah, that day 1 bye could pay huge dividends. Playoffs a week from tomorrow down in San Luis Obispo. Payoff pitch. And did they say he went around? Yes, he did. Kramer down on strikes.
DH number 15, Braden Runyon.
Runyon back to the original walk-up song. Exited last night's game early after he cut his leg on a play in foul ground. Fortunately, he's back in the very next night. Chance to give his team the lead here. First pitch, and he fouls it back. 0-1.
And even in his short time in that game, he was able to go 2 for 2, so inserting himself back in after a little bit of time off here very well.
341, 5 homers, 21 RBI. 27th game with the team this summer. Chopped this one foul to the left side, and the count is 0-2. Well, you want to talk about CCL playoffs. Here's your 2021 state tournament MVP, Braden Runyon. He was one of the main reasons this team won the championship last year.
I would say so, and he's having a season this year in his own right as well, and just been a great contributor for these last 2 seasons for the Prune Packers.
Well, he's a great ball player, even better human being. Something Coach Gomes will talk about is how he's one of the most genuine guys on the team. As Runyon calls time there, had a chance to talk to Coach about Runyon before the game last night, about him coming off the injury, the perseverance he showed. And he just spoke so highly of him as a person, said he's an absolute gem. Grounds this one to the left side and foul.
As you mentioned, that injury recovery, that's a lot of dedication, especially for a shorter season, to stick with it and stay on the roster, stay with this team, and come and eventually be able to support them on the field yet again. So I would argue one of the most inspiring Prune Packers that we have on the roster this year.
Absolutely, and we know with Braden, the bat plays just about anywhere you can get him in the lineup. Great corner player. He's got a fantastic arm. You can put him in left, right, first, third. 0-2. Once again, Runyon gets a piece.
And he does have that great arm, as you mentioned. And, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him starting in right field because of that coming down the stretch here.
Especially with Blake Burke on the shelf. Once again, Runyon just staying alive up there. Seeing a lot of pitches.
It's impressive stuff to be able to continue to foul off, especially when you're still in an 0-2 count and getting these competitive pitches. You just don't want to get into the rhythm of always swinging, so hopefully he doesn't chase here. Still 0-2.
Crowley wants a new set of signs. Comes set. Another 0-2. Runyon lays off for ball 1.
That's what you love to see this late into the pitch count, and just being able to still have that great read of where it is in the zone, even when behind.
Holcroft at third. Bulatich at second. Scoreless here in the bottom of the first with 1 out. Good take by Runyon. It was close. Potter's dugout wanted it, but it's ball 2.
That is about as close as it gets. The one before that also riding a little outside. This one even squeezing towards the zone even more, but just a stone-cold take from Runyon, able to recognize that.
This next pitch will be number 20 of the first inning for Crowley.
Still no runs crossing, but working up that pitch count are the Prune Packers.
Breaking ball. Can't find the zone, and the count is full. Back-to-back full counts here against Crowley. Lefty Sam Brown stands on deck. Payoff pitch. Got him. Runyon can't check his swing in time. It's out number 2.
First baseman, number 2, Sam Brown.
After finally working that count to full, he's frustrated with the end result, but that was still a very impressive at-bat.
Absolutely. That'll be a tough pill to swallow. You get the first 2 batters in scoring position with nobody out for your 3, 4, 5 hitters. Got to come up with something here.
Hopefully Sam Brown will be the bat to do it. 307 batting average going into the game, 21 RBI, so he can swing the bat with some runners on. He's got 3 home runs on the year as well.
Heading to Washington State next season. Brown dries it. Deep left center field. It is back. And it's going to get down in the gap, rolling all the way to the wall. Holcroft scores. Vuletic scores. Brown is in at third with a 2-out triple. Well, there you go. 2-0 Prune Packers thanks to Sam Brown.
And that's what they needed to see right there after the 3 and 4 spot couldn't get to the job done with 2 on. He was able to at least cross those over and have a productive inning jumping ahead here in the bottom of the first.
Community band got excited for that hit. Here's Sam Hunt. First pitch swinging, lifts it, shallow left field. It is caught on a run out there by Walden for out number 3, but the Packers plate 2 runs with 2 outs thanks to Sam Brown's RBI triple. It's 2-0 Prune Packers. Will be right back with the top of the second.
Hillsborough Community Band. They have featured sponsors tonight, Draxton Wines. We showcase the magic that happens when you combine the right grower, varietal, and location with an experienced winemaking team. Great wines truly do start in the vineyard, and the mission of Draxton Wines is to embrace that philosophy in every wine that they produce. Featured sponsor tonight, Draxton Wines. Leading off the top of the second inning for the Potters from Sacramento State University, center fielder number 21, Garrett Crenshaw.
Noah Renard set to face 5, 6, 7 in the Potters order here in the top of the second inning. And Renard now working with an early 2-0 lead. So the Packers have a miraculous 22 comeback wins this season. That has to be the most in the CCL. I mean, I don't know for sure, but considering not many other teams have won 20 games, that's an incredible number.
Oh, it's a pretty impressive stat line for sure, especially considering how many times they jump ahead and don't really have to come back.
Right.
Still able to get those wins in any situation.
That's why I brought it up. It's like, hey, might not need one here tonight. Crenshaw gets a hold of it, sends it deep to left center, and Holcroft's got it in the gap for out number 1.
Very nice for the Flyers from the University of Mexico. Second baseman number 16, Chase Wiesenborn.
4 outs for the Packers thus far. 3 came by Holcroft's glove, doing a great job out there defensively.
That he is, and Wiesenborn, the New Mexico Lobo, steps up. Another first pitch swing. It's obviously in the Potters' game plan to be aggressive early on. And it makes sense. No, Renard doesn't walk anybody. He's not really going to fall behind too often.
Best chances when you're even in the count 0-0, trying to jump on something that you like. They might be looking for a little bit more patience, a little bit more pitch recognition in their approach if they are going to try to jump on early for the rest of this game.
Ooh, really nice breaking ball there. Gets a swing and a miss. We know with Renard, usually he's going to come with that fastball early. And then he's got devastating off-speed stuff. This one's popped up to the right side. Brown drifting into foul territory. He's got it for out number 2.
Next for the Potters from Long Beach State, third baseman, number 2, Brennan Roselle.
Here's the third baseman, Brennan Roselle. Roselle is a Lincoln native playing for his hometown team. First pitch runs inside and hits him.
Next for the Potters from Oklahoma Baptist University, catcher number 33, Troy Shields.
Well, that's a rarity with Renard on the mound.
I would say so. It's rare for him to let someone take a free 90 to first, but since he does, even with 2 outs, the Potters have to try to jump on this advantage.
All right, well, Shields sheds the shin guards. Has to step up to the plate here with 2 outs. Shields got the start last night, went 1 for 3. Lays off the first pitch. It's been slow going for him at the plate overall this year. 24 games, 132 average. But he does have 1 home run. Takes a big rip there. Can't connect with the heater.
We're seeing a lot of swings and misses, even if we aren't seeing a whole lot of strikeouts, because they're just putting the ball in the play. Very aggressive are the Potters right now.
1-1. This is downstairs. McDonald gets a block on it. Two stolen bases for Roselle over there at first. Could get him in motion. 2-1. Pot back to the screen. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. In the top of the second, Prune Packers leading the Potters 2-0. Bernard comes set. The pitch. Fastball misses above the zone. That's a full count. Renard's last 2 outings came in relief. Maybe looking to extend him here before the playoffs. And Shields hits it hard over to short. Brooks has it. Throws to first in time for out number 3. Potters get a man aboard but can't score. It's still 2-0 Prune Packers heading to the bottom of the second.
Fieldsburg Community Band, Tequila. Quick reminder, the foul balls bring them to the main table. We're going to have a signed autographed baseball to give away 7th inning. Leading off, bottom of the 2nd inning for the Prune Packers from St. Mary's, catcher number 7, Blake McDonald.
Here's Blake McDonald stepping up to the plate to start off the bottom of the 2nd for the Packers. The 2-0 lead on the Lincoln Potters. And Trevin Crowley had to work in the 1st inning, throwing well over 20 pitches. First pitch to McDonald. This is 1 ball, no strikes.
You know, when you see a high pitch count against the Packers, it's most likely because they're tearing the cover off the ball for an extended period of time, but good job at least limiting runners crossing the plate there.
Well, this is the 2nd straight game Blake McDonald has, make that the 3rd straight game McDonald has started in behind the plate. Got the nod last night, and then the previous game in Walnut Creek, Kimball Schuessler getting a little bit of rest.
I think that's important. He's going to be a glove that you want to go for, especially in the tournament.
McDonald knocks this one into deep right, but it's caught out there by Cole Tremaine.
Now batting from UC Berkeley, 2nd baseman number 10, Carson Crawford.
Now Carson Crawford gets a good hand. It's not often that we see Crawford and Brooks in the lineup at the same time, but they make up the 8-9 punch.
Yeah, and we usually see one of them taking the middle infield spot, and as you mentioned, sort of that bottom of the order, but now both, and we'll see if we can get some productivity from the bottom of the order here.
And we usually do. That's why I call it the 8-9 punch. Seem to always deliver.
Very well-rounded is this lineup.
Crawford, 227, 2 homers, 14 driven in. It was a late entry into the ball game last night on 0 for 1. Gets ahead 3-0. Well, the story of last night's game, really on both teams, a lot of walks and a lot of runners left in scoring position, both sides. It was such a close game that really came down to that late Walden home run that handed the Packers just their 8th loss of the season, and that's incredible in and of itself. You look at the Potters, who are 14-8 in the month of July alone, and that's really good. They're several games above 500. Packers just 8 losses on the entire season as Crawford gets a hold of it, sending it to deep center field, but not quite deep enough as Crenshaw makes the catch, moving back towards the ivy.
they have been looking pretty solid as of late, as you mentioned. Let's take a look at the northern standings for the CCL. And something that jumps out with me here is just how tightly contested the middle parts of this
Oh my gosh.
are. It's going to be very interesting to see who makes the tournament.
Well, I'll tell you what, the Solano Mudcats are going to be huge Prune Packers fans tonight. Because the Mudcats, for them, the CCL tournament's still very much in play for them. And that would be one of the feel-good stories of the season, a team that won 8 games last year to turn around and make the CCL playoffs the following season. That would just be incredible.
It would be very impressive, and I'd be delighted to see them come with us to the tournament.
1-0 the count to Loudon Brooks. Chops this one foul down the third base line. New walk-up song for Loudon. Rocking with Paper Planes. Maybe looking to shake things up a little bit. Although he did have a good game last night. Went 2 for 4. Has his average back up over 200, so he's off the interstate. Two balls, one strike. 2 down in the inning. Crowley falling behind again here. The count's 3-1. It's Lincoln Potters, like you mentioned. Big playoff implications, looking to hang on to that second spot in the North as Brooks looks at a strike.
Just able to find that outer third there. And something I've found interesting here, this pitch count is climbing high, but more impressive that there hasn't been a lot of walks, a lot of hits. Regardless of the result, the Packers are just really driving up the count, and I'm sure that patience is something that Joey Gomes talked to them about.
Right. Lots of good hitters counts. Umpire calls time here. Two 2-0 Packers here in the bottom of the second. Here's the payoff pitch. And Loudon Brooks is aboard with a 2-out walk.
The next one, Prune Packers, center fielder number 1, Jake Holcroft.
Well, two things have been consistent about Jake Holcroft all season. His incredible play and his walk-up song. First pitch misses the zone. 1 ball, no strikes. Jake just such a steady presence on this team. Commands that center field position. Outside of a 1-week stretch, pretty much been at leadoff all season long. This one gets all the way to the backstop, and Brooks will take second. And even when he briefly got moved down in the order for a few games, he was still hitting very well.
Right, an amazing hitting streak, mostly taking place during that time towards the bottom of the order.
What it ended up being, was it 16 games? It was up
16,
there.
17, one of the higher ones of the year for sure.
I think it was the highest of the season. Well, Jake's got a 6-game hitting streak coming into this game. In fact, with that leadoff single, it's now 7. 1-1 the count after that foul ball. So yeah, the official ruling on that opening play was a single. So it's now a 7-game hit streak. 2-1.
I think that's the right call. It would have been a close play regardless whether or not the throw is offline there. So I think it's good to award him that infield single there.
You always give him the benefit of the doubt with that speed.
I would say so.
3-1 on the way. And Holcroft gets aboard with the second straight walk.
Texas Tech left fielder number 12, Zach Bulletich.
Struggles in the first with location and high counts, but now sort of seems to be opening the floodgates. 2 walks here after almost getting out of it.
43 pitches, 24 balls for Trevin Crowley. Pickoff move to first, and the throw gets away. Brooks heads for third, but he is going to be out by a mile. Well, that's a tough way to end the inning. Packers had back-to-back walks with 2 outs, but Loudon Brooks is thrown out at third. Packers still lead at 2-0. We'll be right back with the top of the third.
Born to be Wild, Healdsburg Community Band. Leading off the top of the third inning for the Potters from CSU Monterey Bay, first baseman number 29, Casey Vogan.
Attention CCL League fans, the 2022 CCL State Championship presented by Firestone Walker Brewing Company is coming to California's Central Coast. The state championship will be hosted in San Luis Obispo, California at Sinsheimer Park, August 4th through 6th. Tickets are available online and at the gate. For more information, follow calsummerball.com and be sure to follow all the CCL State Championship action on social media using the hashtag CCLBaseball.
There you go, promo number 1 in the books. Now that CCL tournament coming up. Prune Packers will be there. It's just a matter of what seed they are. Obviously gunning for that first seed. They have a 3.5 game lead on the Conejo Oaks. Here's the 1-2 to it's Casey Vogan in his first game with the Potters. Was a very late addition to the Point Streak roster. Pops up the 2-2, right side. And that's Crawford making the play in shallow right.
Back next for the Potters from University of Nevada, Reno, DH number 13, Jared Breedwell.
You know, it sort of is an interesting thing, even though the CCL North standings are kind of lopsided towards the top with the Prune Packers. Every game still counts here down the stretch. As you mentioned, the importance of that first round bye is going to do leaps and bounds for this club if they can secure it.
Lineup flips over for Jared Breedwell, but yeah, I mean, it's getting real interesting here down the stretch, and there's a lot of, I guess, complicating factors, if you will. I mean, the way it's going to shake out, it will not be the top 5 teams winning percentage-wise in the tournament, because the Santa Barbara Foresters, who would be the number 2 seed as of right now, hot on the tails of the Prune Packers, are going to Kansas. They won't even compete in the tournament. This one's hit hard into right field, and it is caught on a line by Sam Hunt. And then you have the Slow Blues, who, despite the fact that their winning percentage is under 400, they're 11-19 in CCL play. They're going to get into the playoffs because they're a host city. So it's just very interesting. So as of right now, you're looking at the Packers, the Conejo Oaks, the Lincoln Potters, the OC Riptide, and then the Slow Blues. Which should make for an interesting tournament, I think. This one's grounded over to second. Crawford Fields throws to first in time to complete a 1-2-3 inning for Noah Renard. It's still 2-0 Packers, and we will be back with Zach Vuletic in the bottom of the third.
Community band, fantastic. In this day in baseball history, 1927, Giant Hall of Famer Mel Ott, 18 years old, hits his first Major League home run, an inside-the-park round tripper. It's the only inside-the-park home run he will ever hit in his 511 career home runs. Great Giant Hall of Famer Mel Ott, 18 years old, this day in history, 1927. Leading off, Texas Tech, left field number 12, Zach Vuletic.
This game breezing along very nicely. We're already here in the bottom of the third inning. Packers up 2-0 on the Lincoln Potters. And Zach Vuletic, Joe Kramer, Braden Runyon set to face Trevin Crowley, who has thrown quite a few pitches. He's almost up to 50 here. And again, he's just through 2 innings.
Compare that to probably one of the quickest half innings that we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Renard on the other end.
All right, let's do that again.
I think it's no doubt which
number 12,
starter's going to make it longer than this game.
Vuletic walked and scored in the first. Despite the fact that this is Crowley's first start, well, actually, Crowley hasn't really been extended very far at all this season. The longest he's gone is 2 2/3, and that was back on July 8th. So interesting that guy who's kind of been a one-inning reliever, if you will, is getting extended this late in the season.
More interesting, in fact, even in spite of these high pitch counts early, he might end up going to pitch the longest that he has this season.
Falls behind on Vuletic 3-0. See some guys up and moving around in the Potters bullpen. 3-0. Fires a strike. You can tell with Crowley, he's got good stuff. That breaking ball appears to be a slider from up here. Moves really nicely. Fastball finds the zone. Counts now full on Vuletic.
Props to him, right there for throwing good contested pitches, even that far behind in the count, working it back up to full.
Three-two. Blown away, and Vuletic was walked for the second time in as many at-bats.
Now batting for the Prune Packers, third baseman number 6, Joe Kramer.
Joe Kramer struck out swinging with runners in scoring position, looking to make up for that right here. Still nobody out. Vuletic already one stolen base in this game. Huge swing and a miss from Kramer. Tried to get out in front of the breaking ball.
And he's earned those big swings for sure with all those home runs. Let's take a look at the leaders right now. And with Jared Sundstrom at the top, not starting today, a couple extra opportunities to maybe catch up and tie that sort of friendly competition.
Vuletic takes off. Kramer dunks it into left field for a base hit. Vuletic rounding second. He's going to be in at third. He's coming around to score. Safe at home. Vuletic scores. It's 3-0 Packers. What in the wide world happened out there in left field?
From University of Mexico, DH number 15, Runyon.
If I had to take a guess, it was that the left fielder out there, Walden, really didn't think that he would be going 3, and quite frankly, I didn't either, but with the hit and run in effect, he decided to round, and that could have been a distracting factor in order to get that ball behind him.
So how about that? Vuletic scores from first on what is likely to be scored a single E7 for Joe Kramer. And Vuletic just never stopped running. Put on the burners. Now Runyon tries to check his swing, can't hold up in time.
Braden Runyon, third best batting average on the team right now, 341. Right behind Holcroft and Kramer there.
Crowley looking Kramer back to the bag there at second. Well, you mentioned, see if the Packers can get on the board early and often, and so far it looks like they're on their way to doing that. And Runyon gets it in the air, deep to left, going back at the wall, and it's off the wall. Kramer's going to come in to score. Runyon's into second with the slide, and it's 4-0 Packers.
Back from Washington State University, first baseman, number 2, Sam Brown.
And when he's got a power bat is when he's doing his best work. And last time we really saw him top off, tack on a lot of home runs. He's got 5 on the year. Was in a period with Blake Burke's absent, and here we are, Blake Burke not in the lineup, and he's stepping up yet again, so we love to see that for him.
Yep, he's been an RBI machine all year long. RBI number 22 and double number 7 on the year for Runyon. And despite missing a lot of time, he's within 1 for the team lead in doubles. Here's the active doubles leader, tied with Jake Holcroft, Sam Brown. First pitch, gets under it, skying it out to right field. And it is... They can't make the play out there. Another outfield miscue for the Lincoln Potters. That ball just hung up there. Tremaine charged in from right, and Crenshaw looked like he was going to collide with Tremaine, moving to his left. He should have just given way to the right fielder there.
I would say so, but he did. I understand that as the center fielder, you think the ball's closer to you. He did cover a lot of range, but if you got to call him off, you got to call him off much earlier than that to avoid that sort of collision from happening and giving that extra base run.
That's going to get a mound visit going for the Potters here. Yeah, that was just a disaster. Should have been out number 1, but instead, Runyon's in at third and Brown in at first. Still
not making his defensive plays. So So they're going to look back on this game and pinpoint that moment as a time where they could secure a pretty important out in an inning where we're scoring a lot.
And once again, the great team, Sam Hunt.
So they leave Crowley in the ball game. And his defense has gotten him in a little bit of a mess here. See if he can work out of it, but more importantly, let's see if the Packers can make it hurt.
It's important for them to jump on. Here's Sam Hunt, had 2 RBIs yesterday. Another opportunity to get some here. We'll see what he can do with no outs.
Hunt gets it in the air, left field. Under it is Walden, makes the catch. In comes Runyon, the throws into second, and it's 5-0 Packers.
Back at the St. Mary's, catcher number 7, Blake McDonald.
I think both sides will take that. Potters easily trading a run for an out there. And a great team at bat for Sam Hunt, picking up yet another RBI. That was RBI number 20 in 31 games for Sam Hunt. First pitch to McDonald is a called strike. Couple errors proving costly here for the Potters. Crowley does jump ahead on McDonald 0-2. Walks and errors, 2 things you can't have. For the Packers, taking it all day long. The 0-2, swing and a miss. McDonald down on strikes. Strikeout number 3 for Crowley for out number 2.
Carson Crawford.
Well, we know Carson's got some pop. 1-2 out home run for himself this year. First pitch is fouled back. And did it get a piece of somebody there?
Looked like perhaps a coach there sitting.
Yeah, it looks like it might have gotten somebody there in the Potters dugout there down the first base line. Oh, 1. This is downstairs in the dirt. Counts even at a ball and a strike.
Exciting stuff.
2 up for the Potters in the 4th. Walden, Tremaine, Crenshaw, 3-4-5. And this foul ball gets a piece of Shields. This has been a painful at bat for the Lincoln Potters.
I'd say so. Second time a chopped foul ball was able to find a mark on one of the Potters roster members.
Well, McDonald struck out. Before that, it was a Sam Hunt sac fly. And before that, the first 4 batters in this inning had reached. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 3 home in the inning for the Packers with a 5-0 lead on the Potters. Brown gets his lead at first. The pitch. Crawford smokes it into left field for a base hit. Brown holds up at second. And let's see if Loudon Brooks can cash in here with 2 outs.
Loudon Brooks.
Loudon Brooks walked his first time up, was thrown out at third to end the second after trying to advance on an errant pickoff throw.
No, I don't blame him there for that wild throw, pickoff attempt. Just really didn't travel in the grass there that much.
It's hard to short, and Shimizu goes the short way, gets the force out at second to end the inning. Packers lead 5-0. We'll be back with Noah Renard in the top of the fourth inning.
Presley from the Healdsburg Community Band. Hey, our feature sponsor tonight, Draxton Wines. Encourage you to check out their website, DraxtonWines.com, for a full list of their award-winning wines. Draxton Wine. Leading off the top of the fourth inning for the Potters, left fielder number 34, JT Walden.
Hello and welcome back to the broadcast. I'm Hayden Weber alongside Andy Campbell, bringing you Packers baseball from beautiful Rec Park in Healdsburg, California on this Wednesday evening. Prune Packers with a 5-0 lead on the Potters, looking to avenge last night's loss and keep up the current trend of both winning at home and not losing back-to-back games. Two things that rarely ever happen.
So they're going for 22 wins in a row at home today. And so far, it's just been able to defend the Rec in a very good job, protect the Rec, as Joey Gomes says.
Renard jumps ahead on Walden 0-2. Something that I always find interesting is when you have a rivalry between two teams, but one team takes it more seriously than another. Walden pops this one up, shallow center field. Holcroft comes in and grabs it for out number one.
Against Tony Potters from Baylor University, right fielder.
And that's not to downplay the rivalry between these two teams, because it does exist. But if you talk to Joey Gomes, he'll maintain that it doesn't really matter who we're playing. It doesn't feel any better or hurt any worse when we win or lose against the Potters. It's just another opponent, or at least that's how they treat it. And then you'll hear sometimes in Lincoln, it feels extra good to beat the Packers. Or at least that's what you hear from the fans. But really on both sides, I think this is summer ball, and a win is a win. Doesn't really feel any better or worse either way.
I would say so, and I'm sure it always does feel nice to stick a loss on the leading team's record. So I think that's definitely a part of it, at least for the fans.
Tremaine pops it up. Just short. Brooks has got it for out number two. I'll tell you what is
Garrett Crenshaw.
All the games between these two teams this season have been fun to watch. And there have been a couple that the Packers have run away with, but for the most part, it's been very even. And it's very obvious that when these two teams play, you're watching the two best teams in the CCL North. But we'd be remiss not to say the Mudcats have also looked the part this year. I think even more so than the Crawdads.
I would say so, especially because of the expectation of how they would perform compared to last year. They've just been a really scrappy team and have been able to tack on some losses. The Packers.
Renard ahead 0-2 on Crenshaw with 2 outs, looking for his second straight 1-2-3 inning, and he gets it with a swing and a miss. 7 straight retired for Noah Renard. It's still 5-0 Prune Packers. Be right back with the bottom of the fourth.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're hoping that we might have a visit from one of our great time travelers. Hoping to see Packer Pete maybe making an entrance here today. It's possible. The word is out that Packer Pete may be making a short visit here to Healdsburg Prune Packers. We're hoping to see Packer Pete. The kids might want to check that out. Ladies and gentlemen, I think our time traveler, Packer Pete, has arrived. He's joining us. He was there at the beginning. He's been here many times in the past. Our one and only Packer Pete. Let's get to say hello to Pete, shake his hand, wish him well. Our great time traveler. Back to the very beginning in 1846. Pete was there. He's everywhere, Packer Pete. Welcome, Pete. Great to see you. Always great to see Packer Pete here joining us on this beautiful evening. Great to see you, Pete. The new pitcher from CRJC, number 12, Evan Odin. Thank you, Pete. Good to see you, old Pete. Making the scene. Great job, Pete.
Well, how about that for a special treat on this Wednesday night? Packer Pete in the house.
Love to see that. Our favorite baseball time traveler, Pete, making his rounds across the rec park and the grandstands here.
Yeah, Packer Pete, he's got that perpetual smile. A little bit large head, but we don't care. It's all good.
Well, there is a new pitcher on for the Lincoln Potters here.
Packers from center field, number 1, Jake Holcroft.
And it is number 12, Evan Odin, out of Sierra Junior College. This is just his second appearance on the summer. He worked 1 inning of scoreless relief against the Crawdads back on the 23rd. He punched out 2 in his lone inning of work.
Would have to be assuming that he's a late addition to their roster.
Yeah. Well, we know that for the Packers, had a lot of players drafted, and with that, a little bit of roster turnover, but the Packers are not the only team to have experienced that. I know the Lincoln Potters have had to shuffle the roster around a little bit, and here's one of the new additions. So we get our first look at Odin here. And he's throwing smoke early on. Very clean delivery.
I would say so, yeah, and that's what you want. You want that fluidity. You gotta keep your arm loose while you're out on the mound so you're able to locate the best that you can.
Pitch was close, but it missed. 1-1 the count. Not just your second outing, but going to give you the top of the order here and one of the best lineups in all of CCL baseball. Go get them. 2 balls, 1 strike. Holcroft has reached in both plate appearances. There's a called strike on the outside corner. Here's the 2-2. Holcroft jumps on it, sending it deep to right, and it is gone. Welcome into the ball game, Evan Odin. Jake Holcroft with a leadoff solo shot here in the bottom of the 4th, and it makes it 6-0 Packers.
Vuletic.
He's sort of become known as a opposite field hitter, but they're just pulling that one right out of the park. 4th on the year. You really love to see that from your leadoff guy.
That power's come on in the back half of the season. Like you mentioned, in the early going, appeared to be kind of an opposite field slap hitter, if you will. But has shown he's got power to all fields. Vuletic gets ahead 3-0.
And the more I think about it, the more I think we get that impression of that, because they're pitching mostly to him on the outside part of the plate, and he just sort of carries with wherever the ball is and does a great job of moving with the ball. And so now when teams have tried to make that adjustment, work him on the inside, he's pulling the ball more.
3 balls, 1 strike. Fastball misses off the plate, and Vuletic has walked in all 3 plate appearances.
Packers from third baseman number 6, Joe Kramer.
That is pretty impressive. 3 walks this early in a game, and some struggle finding the zone after that big home run. And we'll see if he can make that adjustment with the big bat of Joe Kramer.
I was going to say he's getting the Joe Kramer treatment, because Kramer once walked 4 times in a ball game. Skies it out to left. And who's got it? Walden can't make the play. My goodness. Another communication error for the Lincoln Potters. It has been a tough day for JT Walden out there. That'll be an easy E7. 3rd error for Lincoln.
DH number 15, Raiden Runyon.
That's something that they're going to be working on coming down the stretch, and sometimes you got to go back to the basics with just being able to communicate well and get to know your guys and figure out what works best for each other.
He saw that coming all the way, too, because Chamizo was ranging out there, and I'm not sure if Walden even called him off. Runyon comes up empty, swinging a miss.
In that situation, the outfielder coming in sort of gets the right of way, shall you say, but even then you got to be able to communicate that sooner if that is something you want to do. If he's already ranging out there and he's got a better look at it than you got to lay off.
Vuletic takes off for 3rd. The throw is not in time. Stolen base number 2 of the ball game and number 9 of the season for Vuletic. Counts 0-2. Runners at the corners, nobody out. Odin comes set. The pitch to Runyon. Grounds it to the left side. Fielded by the 3rd baseman, Rozelle. Throws to first. In time, Vuletic scores, and it's 7-0.
Now batting from Washington State University, first baseman number 2, Sam Brown.
And that's why not getting those outs early can kill you. Just being able to get those free runs off of those ground outs is really going to be important for the Packers to lay on thick, and they have done just that now. 7-0 for the Packers.
2 RBIs on the evening for Runyon. So here's Sam Brown with Joe Kramer at 2nd. First pitch, grounds it over to second base. Throwing to first is Wiesenborn for out number 2. Kramer's in at 3rd.
Batting next from Texas Tech, right fielder number 18, Sam Hunt.
Almost every night when that moon gets a big
Hunt's 0 for 1. Drove in a run with the sac fly his last time up. First pitch is a fastball, inside corner, strike one. It's been a rude welcome into this game from the Prune Packers offense to Evan Oden. It's been roughed up for a couple of runs. Although once again the defense for the Potters not helping their pitchers out whatsoever.
And that has been a struggle throughout this game, and Joey Gomes is giving the green light for anyone to put it into play until they start putting their glove on it.
The 2-1. Just off the plate. Good take from Sam Hunt. And it's 3-1. Blake McDonald with the shin guards on stands in the on-deck circle. The pitch. Fouled off to the left side. Landy, you remember the last time the Potters were here. It was a great game. I know you were on the call with Dave Cox with YSN. I believe it was Kramer who delivered a late home run, if I'm not mistaken, in that game.
He had a great impact in that one. That was super important for him to cinch that.
Hunt grounds it into right field for a base hit. Scores Kramer from third, and it's 8-0.
January's catcher, number 7, Blake McDonald.
Well, the Packers are just not messing around tonight.
And I think we've seen this a couple times where we come back for back-to-back games against a club, and if they gave us trouble the first time around, win or loss, that we can bite back in a ferocious way, and they're doing it right now.
And again, this team just a different animal at home as McDonald launches it deep to center field, but it's caught out there on a run by Crenshaw for out number 3. It's another great inning for the offense, and it all got started with that Jake Holcroft solo shot. It's 8-0 Prune Packers. We'll be back with the top of the 5th.
Disco Community Band, so excited. Leading off, top of the 5th inning for the Potters, University of Mexico, second base number 16, Chase Wiesenborn.
Noah Renard back out for his 5th inning of work, working with an 8-0 lead over the Lincoln Potters. And we'll see how long they opt to stay with Renard. He's been very efficient tonight, as usual. Just being that his last couple outings were short ones. His last outing worked just 1 inning against the West Coast Kings, and before that, 3 against the Stompers. Not sure how deep into the game he's going to go.
And after those last 2 half innings, in the 3rd and 4th, he just had some of the most efficient stuff going, very much limiting pitches.
Wiesenborn sends it deep to left. It is back, and it is way out of here. Chase Wiesenborn puts the Potters on the board, and it's 8-1.
And even Vuletic knew that out there and left, but that was a no-doubter, absolutely key stuff.
And that was just home run number 2 this summer for Wiesenborn. Taking advantage of the short wall in left field. First pitch to Roselle misses upstairs. What's interesting is that we don't see a lot of visiting home runs here. We've
I would
seen.
say so. That was an interesting call to make.
Yeah.
To say the least.
I mean, from time to time, you'll see 5, 6 runs maybe at most from a visiting team. But rarely do the Packers give up the long ball here at home. Don't have any official stat to back that up, but just an observation.
I do call the home games here, don't really go away. And so I've sort of had a chance to observe that, and I've noticed that exact same thing. And it's felt very unusual when that ball went flying over the fence there.
Renard falling behind Brennan Roselle, 3 balls, 1 strike. And he dunks one into center field for a base hit. So the Potters' bat's starting to heat up here in the 5th.
Baptist University, catcher number 33, Troy Shields.
How about a double play ball here?
That would be nice.
Breaking ball is a called strike here. 0-1 the count on Shields. So this is the first time all game that Renard has allowed back-to-back batters to reach. This one's popped up right side and foul into the bleachers.
First time getting into any real trouble in this game after that solo shot, and now runner on with no outs.
0-2 the count. The pitch misses upstairs. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Renard checks the runner at first. Two the count. So it gets away from McDonald, and Roselle takes second without a throw.
It's sort of been an unusual turn of events after those very efficient 4 innings. Now having some trouble with location, kind of nibbling around the zone after that solo shot.
Back-to-back 3-ball counts for Noah Renard. Before that, had just 1 in the entire ball game leading up to this point. And he walks Troy Shields. Not a good start to the 5th for Renard.
Baggins from CSU Monterey Bay, and first baseman number 29, Casey Vogan.
Now with 2 runners on, it's more important than ever that he settles down. Because I feel like he's sort of rushing his rhythm and his routine here out of a little bit of frustration from the results of this inning. But he's going to have to settle down if he wants to continue in this one.
First pitch to Vogan is skied into center field, and Holcroft makes the catch, moving to his right.
Next from Nevada Reno, DH number 13, Jared Breedwell.
Took sort of a delayed path to the ball there after that quick first step back, but still able to get there in plenty of time with those wheels.
Jared Breedwell's 0 for 2, his third at bat in the ball game. Looks at a strike. 0-1 the count. First three reach in the fifth for Lincoln. Get their first run of the ball game. This one fouled straight back.
Double play would still get Renard out of it here.
Here's the pitch. This is Lone away. This has easily been one of the more taxing innings for Renard. Breaking ball was close. Umpire says no, and the count is 3-1.
And that's a call you want in this situation, but he's just going to still have to find a way to pound the zone here with 3 balls.
Lifts it into right field. It gets down for a base hit. They're going to hold up the runner at third, and the bases are loaded. Took him a little late to get going, but the Lincoln Potters have arrived here in the fifth.
They're going to try their best to stop the bleeding. The almost regretted swing on that outside pitch that could have been ball 4, but able to just get it down there in right field for the single.
First pitch to Chamizo is a strike. Had to have been on the swing. Pitch looked a little low. Rizal at third, Shields at second, Breedwell at first. Fastball misses outside. Packers keeping the infield back. One. Lifted deep into center field. Going back on it is Holcroft. He makes the catch. Only runner to tag is the one from third, and he'll score, making it 8-2.
Thanks for the Potters. Left fielder number 34, J.T. Walden.
That was pretty deep in the outfield. Good job by Holcroft to cut the runner off from advancing to third and just sort of chalking up that other one.
Yeah, through to the shortstop, Loudon Brooks. Instead of coming home, we know sometimes it's a mistake some outfielders can make. First pitch to Walden is a big swing and a miss. He was aiming for the right field bleachers. This is where getting that lead early on really helps you out if you're the Packers. Let Renard work through it a little bit here, work through some adversity, and not having to worry too much about giving up the lead.
That's what you like to be able to have as a pitcher, not always going to be working with a clean slate of no base runners on. You have to be able to adapt to the situations, and with those insurance runs and then some, giving him that opportunity here seems like the right call.
1-1 the count. Renard checks the runner at second, fires, and Walden pops it up third base. Kramer's got it in fair territory for out number 3. Potters do get 2 runs on the board, cutting their deficit to 6. The Packers still lead. It's 8-2. Be right back with the bottom of the 5th.
volunteers. If you're interested in getting involved, just go up and talk to any of them and talk to you about their practice on Tuesday nights and about all of their activities. If you'd like to get involved in the Healdsburg Community Band, just ask and see what they have to offer. Second baseman number 10, Carson Crawford.
Carson Crawford, Loudon Brooks, Jake Holcroft set to go for the Prune Packers here in the bottom of the fifth with a 8-2 lead on the Lincoln Potters, who got on the board for the first time in the last half inning. It's a solo shot for Chase Wiesenborn, an RBI sac fly from Zach Chamizo off of Noah Renard. See if the Prune Packers can put the foot on the gas pedal and put even more runs on the board.
You know, important is it that they scored 3 of their 4 times at the plate. And the first scored 2, and the third and fourth both scoring 3. If they had left runners stranded in one of those, that's a very different ball game, way more competitive.
Now batting Texas Tech
That was
shortstop number 3.
Called third strike to Carson Crawford. That'll bring up Loudon Brooks. Well, I'll tell you what, if it wasn't for those 3 errors, this could be a whole different ball game.
I would say so. You know, there's 3 things you can't do against the Prune Packers if you're trying to limit the runs. Walks, errors. I got my third one. But there's another one as well, and they did all of them.
Brooks shows bunt. They say he went around, though. Well, I get the point. You just can't make mistakes.
That's basically.
You can't make mistakes. I think another one could be you have to capitalize when the Packers make mistakes.
That's a big one, especially when you're looking on the offense.
Right, when the Packers are walking guys or clanking the ball around on defense, it's important for other teams to score. Take advantage of those situations.
The Packers are a stonewall behind the plate, have great pitching and very solid defense, as you mentioned. Very few and far between for those opportunities to sort of be thrown into your lap, so when you get them, you have to take advantage of
them. 1-2 on the way. Grounded softly to short. Chamizo's got it. And the throw to first is way offline. Would have been a close play at first regardless.
For the Packers, center fielder number 1, Jake.
So we will await a ruling on that play, but nonetheless, Brooks is in at first, and they're going to rule it an E6, error number 4 for the Potters on defense.
That play there jogged my memory for my third thing. We've got walks, errors, and wild pitches.
There you go.
A lot of advancing guys on the base pass from this game, and even being able to make it to first with a wild pitch and offline pitch, and that's been a really struggle for the Potters in this game as well.
Pickoff move to first. Nice scoop over there from Vogan. Jake's 2 for 2. Lifts this one into shallow left. Coming in as Walden, and he's got it for out number 2.
Left fielder number 12, Zach Footage.
Something of note about JT Walden is that he's playing out of position right now. He's normally an infielder, played at first base last night. So we know that's always an adjustment when you get moved to a new position.
But that time he was able to range in and get a glove to it, so that sort of perhaps a sign of settling in at this sort of new location.
Next pitch to Vuletic misses. One player who changed positions a little bit later in their career was Mike Piazza, Hall of Fame catcher from the New York Mets, was an infielder. And I forget which organization it was, but he was converted to a catcher right before he got to the majors. And he just talked about how much of an adjustment it was for him. It was a little demoralizing because, you know, catcher is somewhat of a foreign position when you're new at it. But he made the move and wound up having a Hall of Fame career. Here's a called strike.
And, you know, I think catchers, even though it is very, very foreign to a lot of players, an easier position to pivot to that late into your career, considering that you can just sort of catch for bullpens is as a great way to get reps in without having to sacrifice time on the field.
Vuletic smokes it to the left side, but just does go foul near the third base bag.
He's been having a game so far. 3 walks, 2 stolen bases, another full count. Here we'll see if he can make his way to first yet again.
Could tie Joe Kramer for most walks in a single game here. We're barely even halfway through this one. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 8-2 Packers here in the bottom of the 5th. Brooks gets his lead at first. The payoff pitch to Vuletic misses upstairs, and he is aboard with his 4th walk.
Number 6, Joe Kramer.
They just don't want to pitch to him.
Yeah, I guess so. And I mean, we did see that for a couple of them where they were just 3-1 at the most, but that one was sort of a little bit more competitive, worked up to full, and still able to lay off that high cheese and get it to first. 4 walks, 2 stolen bases, only in the bottom of the 5th here.
Yep, 24 walks to 11 strikeouts for Vuletic. That is unbelievable. This one gets all the way to the backstop. Both runners are going to advance into scoring position.
That's really unfortunate if you're the Potters, you know. It's still 2 outs, so maybe they can work out of it, but there's it is again, just giving these extra 90s off of these wild pitches. Going to be trying to locate a little bit more, especially from the stretch for the rest of this game.
1 ball, no strikes to Kramer. Base hit, likely scores 2. Swing and a miss. Odin went with the fastball. So a base hit would effectively, like we talked about, negate those 2 runs that came around to score in the top half. Tries to drop a breaking ball in, but it just misses. 2 on the count. After Kramer is Runyon, who's had himself a 2 RBI night to this point. Lights are on here at Rec Park with the sun slowly setting out in left field. 2-1 on the way. Misses high and outside. Odin looking to fade his 3rd walk. They say he went around on the swing. They didn't even appeal. Interesting call.
You know, I think it's always unfortunate, regardless of what the call ends up being, is when it's that close, not referring to one of the field umpires. I think just sort of makes it even less accurate than it could have been.
Vuletic at second, Brooks at third. 2 down in the inning. The 3-2. Popped up. And back left side foul.
It's not sports ball. I'm calling you out right now. It's like,
The 3-2. Kramer shoots it into center field, and it is caught on a line out there by Crenshaw. And that'll end the inning. Packers get 2 on, but can't score them. It's still 8-2. And we will be back with the top of the 6th after the break.
Fieldsville Community Band, YMCA, great job. Leading off the top of the 6th inning for the Potters, from Baylor University right field number 30, Cole Tremaine.
We're back here in the top of the 6th inning. Noah Renard on to work once again here after getting his first start in a couple of games. And after a rough 5th, nice vote of confidence for him that he gets left in the game here.
You know, I'm surprised that they decided to just keep him out there, but I love to see it, you know. I mean, it really wasn't a whole lot that went wrong in that inning aside from the solo shot. And so hopefully he can settle down and continue this very smooth start that he's been working.
Tremaine chops it left side, foul. Tremaine's 0 for 2. Skied out a couple of times. After him, it'll be Garrett Crenshaw and then Chase Wiesenborn, who led off the last inning with a homer. Both teams are pretty hot coming into this game. There's a called third strike for out number 1.
Now batting from Sacramento State University.
The Potters, winners of 2 straight, 8 of their last 11, and the Packers lost last night, which snapped a 5-game winning streak, so they're 8-2 in their last 10.
A little bit of a revenge in the head-to-head here.
This one grounded to first. Brown's got it. Steps on the bag for out number 2.
Next from University of New Mexico, second baseman number 16, Chase Wiesenborn.
And after sort of a struggle of an inning, this is the perfect way to bounce back. A 1-pitch ground out there following the quick punch out to lead off this inning.
First pitch to Wiesenborn is fair ball down the left field line. He rounds first, heading to second. The throw is not in time, and it rolls away from Crawford, but not far enough for Wiesenborn to advance. So Chase Wiesenborn
for the Potters from Long Beach State.
Showing he can slug in this game.
He's been having some great time of it, following up that home run with that. Really pulled right on the line so far that even Kramer couldn't field him. He's got a great defensive glove in the hot corner to get what I'm sure will be ruled a double.
There's Brennan Rozelle, singled and been hit by a pitch. Fastball misses upstairs. 1-0 the count.
it would just be
swing and a miss. One ball, one strike. 2 down. Bernard looking to strand Wiesenborn there in scoring position. This one's popped up right side and foul. Bernard has surrendered 5 hits on 2 runs through his first 5 2/3 innings. Just 1 walk. This one's lifted out to shallow left. Brooks ranges out there, and he's got it for out number 3. 2-out double from Wiesenborn ends up not doing any damage, and it's still 8-2 Packers. We'll be right back with the bottom of the 6th.
Community Band. On this day in baseball history, it can only happen in baseball. 1930, Cincinnati herder Ken Ash throws 1 pitch in relief against the Chicago Cubs, and then is lifted for a pinch hitter. Ash's pitch to Charlie Grimm results in a triple play, and he receives credit his last appearance in the major leagues. 1 pitch, triple play. Ken Ash, 1930. Leading off, bottom of the 6th inning for the Prune Packers from University of New Mexico, DH, number 15, Braden Runyon.
We're here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Prune Packers up 8-2 on the Lincoln Potters. And Noah Renard has been sensational on the mound. Just the 2 runs in his 6 innings of work. And that has allowed the Packers offense to go to work, putting up 8 runs. And they chased the pitcher, Trevin Crowley, early. And they've seen a lot of Odin here in the last few innings. He's on for his 3rd inning of relief. Counts 1-0 to Braden Runyon. He's 1 for 3, driven in 2. One to Runyon, cuts on and misses.
You know, he has just had a really efficient time on the mound, Renard, and one, he's locating also the very aggressive way that the Potters are taking their plate approach. In spite of the fact that they're not getting the results, that's what really kills their offense and sort of benefits our pitch count.
Swinging a foul tip. It's a strikeout for out number 1.
Next, Washington State University, first base on number 2, Sam
Some breaking baseball news. Major League Baseball, that is, if you follow. Andrew Benintendi of the Kansas City Royals has just been traded to the New York Yankees. Andrew Benintendi, the former Boston Red Sox outfielder, is going to his former rival. First pitch to Sam Brown misses downstairs. That's something we definitely don't see here in the CCL, any trading, anything like that.
Yeah, I would be interested to see how it would go down.
It would be.
Like this.
Be a fun wrinkle, even though it would make just no sense whatsoever.
You know, if that were the case, what would you consider to be untouchables for the Packers?
You know,
roster?
pretty much everybody. I mean,
there's not a lot of changes
I wouldn't
necessary,
trade
right?
really anybody. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
2-0 the count. Here's a strike. Well, while we have a chance, let's take a look at the upcoming schedule for the Prune Packers. This game 1 of a 5-game homestand. Next pitch to Brown, takes downstairs, 3 balls, 1 strike. So this is the penultimate matchup against the Potters. We'll face them again next Monday in Lincoln. That's the final road game of the entire season. And Brown fouls this one off to the left side. Then we got the Crawdads in town tomorrow. We might actually see them 2 more times. Then the San Francisco Seals, Solano Mudcats, Santa Rosa A's. And then the road game in Lincoln on Monday, August 1st. And there is a potential we could have a rescheduled game against the Crawdads played on Tuesday, August 2nd. Swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts for Odin here in the 6th.
Now batting from Texas Tech, right fielder 18.
So looking at that schedule, I mean, the Packers have pretty much shown, you know, not too much of a threat with the non-league opponents. A couple of them left. The Seals and the A's, we've seen both of them already. You figure you win those 2 games, they don't mean anything in terms of CCL play. But I'll tell you what, the Mudcats game and the next Potters game, I think are 2 that I've got circled for the Prune Packers. Want to see how they play in those games against 2 teams still with a lot left to play for. There's a strike to Sam Hunt.
First place in the North has been decided pretty much for the Prune Packers. I'm interested to see whether or not we can reach 25 home games straight and undefeated in non-CCL play.
Yeah, that would be really cool to see. No other team in the CCL, aside from the Academy Barons who have not played a non-league team. Packers the only team to not lose to a non-league opponent.
This would be some great cherries on top of this fantastic season that we've had.
No balls, 2 strikes to Sam Hunt. Packers looking to avoid their first 1-2-3 inning of the game, at least on offense. This one's lifted in the air, shallow left field. Who's got it? It's Chamizo, the shortstop, for out number 3. Packers go down in order. They still lead 8-2. We'll be right back with the top of the 7th from Rec Park.
Hey, Healdsburg Community Band. Thank you. Hey, it's our 7th inning. That's our last call inning. At the end of the 7th inning, the Merchandise table closes up. The beer and wine and the Amy's Wicked Slush all close up at the end of the 7th inning. So 7th inning is our last call inning. Give these young interns a chance to clean up, put things away. Last call inning, 7th inning. Pitch number 14 for the Prune Packers of Tennessee, Grant Cherry. Leading off, top of the 7th inning for the Potters, Oklahoma Baptist, catcher number 33, Troy Shields.
Welcome back to the broadcast. We're in the top of the 7th inning. Noah Renard's day is done, and it was a great one here at Rec Park. Renard's final line, 6 innings, giving up just 2 runs on 5 hits, 1 walk, and he punched out 2. And now gives way to the righty Grant Cherry out of Tennessee. And Cherry will be on to face Troy Shields, Casey Vogan, Jared Breedwell, 8-9-1 in the Potters order. And the first pitch looks like got a piece of both the batter Shields and McDonald. Fastball just got away from him there.
First baseman number 29, Casey Vogan.
You know, that's not how you like to start a relief outing there, but Cherry's a guy who can recover easily, get himself out of jams, even if he puts himself in one here.
And a fastball runs high and tight. Blake McDonald going out to the mound.
You know, talking about Renard's start there, just really able to extend to the 6th. I think it's going to be important, especially down the stretch. We're trying to keep guys healthy, and so the less guys that you need to put in, less relievers that have to take them out, the better, I think, at this point.
And that pitch is a ball. Not sure where it missed.
Riding high there, and that's the call you really want when you're trying to settle down, and you know it's frustrating to not get that.
This one lifted out to right. Ranging out there is Crawford, and he makes the catch.
Right next to the Batterino, DH number 13, Jared Greenwell.
A nice bounce back at bat there for Cherry. Here's Breedwell with 1 out. This one skied into right field foul territory. Breedwell's 1 for 3. Singled his last time up.
As you mentioned, a very crucial first out when you let someone get on early.
This one's hit hard. A diving attempt by the shortstop Brooks, but he can't get a piece of it. It goes into center field.
Right next from Sierra Junior College, shortstop number 7, Zachary Chamizo.
Rare for it to get past Brooks over there. Great defensive glove, but just had a little bit too much zip on it and wasn't able to get a glove on it. Double play still in effect here. We'll see if Cherry can work out of this jam.
Bring up Chamizo. Drove in a run with the sac fly his last time up. Fastball is in there for strike one. There's a lot of cool things you get to see doing baseball, but none more satisfying than a double play. Right on cue. This one grounded to second. That's going to be a 4, and they can't make the play there at second. Run's going to score, and everybody is safe. Well, might have been a little announcer's jinx right there as Carson Crawford threw it away. That'll be an E4.
Next.
And it's 8-3.
Potters, left fielder number 34, JT Walden.
It's always an awkward play over there at second base when you got to make the,
turnover,
the turn. Yeah.
Especially as a right-handed guy. That's
Right.
why for infield positions, you mostly just see second and first. You're able to twist for that double play a little bit better at second and able to get a better sort of reach over there at first.
1-0 the count to Walden. Runner takes off with the pitch. The throw from McDonald is into center field. Scoring is Breedwell, and it's 8-4.
Those are some defensive struggles that we rarely see from the Prune Packers, and so 2 runs scoring off of it and an E2 ruled. We'll see what they can do with it later in the game.
0-1 the count.
And it's super frustrating as a pitcher. Gino Cherry's got to be a little frustrated with this defense. It's not really his fault that these 2 runs have crossed, and so we'll see if he can work out of it still.
This one misses a little downstairs. Three balls, 1 strike. Chamizo at second with 1 out in the inning. This one is smoked into the right center field gap. Goes all the way to the wall. Rounding third is Chamizo. He will be in without a throw, and it's 8-5.
Well, that certainly woke up the Prune Packers, I would say.
Number 30, Cole Tremaine.
Loud crack of the bat. If it was any higher, might have gotten out. Very hard hit ball, great exit velocity, and now a 5-8 game, a completely big swing after this Grant Cherry relief.
It's base hits like that, you wonder if we had StatCast, what, like you mentioned, what the exit velo on that would have been. That was squared up. Here's Tremaine. First pitch is a strike on the outside corner.
I love to see the support from the Packers fans here after that strike. One of the reasons I think we perform so well here at home.
This one's grounded to third. Kramer, a nice leaping snag. The throw is a little low, but a beautiful pick at first base by Sam Brown for out number 2.
From Sac State, center fielder number 21, Garrett Crenshaw.
Fantastic play from both corners there. That's the defense we're used to seeing, and that's the defense that they're going to need if they want to hold this lead for the rest of the game.
How about that pick over there by Sam Brown? My goodness.
He's really filled in the shoes there of Montgomery very nicely.
Count is 0-1 on Garrett Crenshaw. He had himself a 2-out RBI knock in the game last night. There's a strike. Cherry gets ahead 0-2. Well, the Potters have made things interesting. Scored 5 unanswered. 3 home in the inning. 0-2 on the way. Runs inside. Walden the runner at third. Cherry looking to strand him there. This one runs up and in. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Total of 6 errors committed between the two teams tonight.
It has not been a night for defense here in Healdsburg.
Yeah, not what you expect to see from 1 and 2 in the North. We usually see very clean games played between these teams, so this is somewhat of a rarity. Payoff pitch, skied to the left side, out of play. Sun is pretty much set. Wind blowing out to left field. Three-two is just off the plate. It was close. Cherry wanted it. That'll put runners at the corners with 2 outs.
Maybe a little high, a little outside, almost just finding that corner but not getting the call. With 3 balls, that'll be a walk.
And that'll do it for Grant Cherry. So we'll see who the new pitcher is out of the bullpen. And we will be right back. Packers lead 8-5 in the top of the 7th.
Showing a pitch for the Prune Packers from UC Berkeley, number 24, Tyler Stasiowski. Now batting from University of Mexico, number 16, Chase Wiesenborg.
Tyler Stasiowski is the pitcher out of the bullpen. On to face Chase Wiesenborn. First pitch is grounded through the hole into left field for a base hit. Walden scores from third, and it's 8-6.
And the next from Long Beach State, number 2, Brennan Roselle.
And that's a tough start, but with 2 runners on, all you have to do is think about stopping the bleeding here. You got to maintain this lead and try to get the bats going in the bottom half.
Brennan Roselle is the 9th man to bat for the Potters here in the top of the 7th. Well, Stasiowski is kind of the epitome of a swing man. We've seen him start. He can go long distance. He can throw him in a tough situation. Can pretty much do it all for you out there.
And speaking of tough situations, he came into this one with some runners on, trying to maintain this lead. We'll see if he can get away with it here in the 7th.
And they had the runner, caught him way off the bag.
Almost surprised to catch him that far off.
Yeah,
There was no
throw. Be a tough pill to swallow. Both runners take off. This one is roped into left field. It gets down for a base hit. 1 run scores. They're going to wave another around, and this game is tied.
Wow.
And just like that, the 8-0 lead is gone. Wow.
What a back and forth this game has been. Starting with that 8-0 lead, as you mentioned, and then no response. They've scored 6 here in the 7th. A great 2-out round for the Potters. We'll see which team can swing it in their favor with these last few innings of work.
Here's Troy Shields. Go-ahead runs at second. First pitch is blocked by Blake McDonald. Another pitch misses outside. This one hit to the right side, and Brown makes a nice play on it on a hop. Steps on first for out number 3, and mercifully, the inning comes to an end. The Lincoln Potters played 6 runs to tie the ball game up at 8. And it's stretch time. We got a whole new ball game, Andy. Let's see how the Prune Packers respond in the bottom of the 7th coming up after the break.
Take me out to the ball game. Are we ready, ladies and gentlemen, up there? All right, let's stretch. Whenever you're ready. Take me out. Wednesday night. We'll say goodbye and we'll see you next time. Hillsborough Community Band, great job tonight. Thank you. Coming in to pitch for the Potters from Northeast Oklahoma State, number 28, Connor Gibson. Bottom of the 7th inning for the Prune Packers from St. Mary's, number 7, Blake McDonald.
Well, we've got ourselves a ball game here on Wednesday night at Rec Park. Prune Packers got up 8-0 at one point in this game, and somehow, some way, we're all tied up here.
It's one of the more interesting games to see offensively. Throughout the first 4 innings, the Packers are able to work that 8-0 lead, as you mentioned, but then with some relief struggles, the next 3 innings, they were able to tie it all up.
And that's got a feel for Noah Renard. He's not going to get the win after his great start. New pitcher on for the Potters is the righty Connor Gibson. Count is 1-1 on Blake McDonald. The pitch. McDonald smokes it to left, but foul. See if we can get that bottom of the order punch like we've been talking about. 7, 8, 9 here. McDonald, Crawford, Brooks. And right on cue, knocks it into center field for a leadoff single.
You see Santa Barbara number 11, Jared Sundstrom.
Sundstrom getting the pinch hit here. Here's our CCL home run leader, and what better time than now to jump ahead. We'll see what we can do.
Not a bad option to have off the bench.
At this point in the game, as you mentioned, no better option than Jared Sundstrom. With a couple of these starters, our usual starters rather, taking the bench. Now we get an opportunity to see a little bit of a different Prune Packers than we've seen so far.
Jared Sundstrom's been just a machine all season long. Power numbers through the roof. And he has been excellent coming off the bench this year. Gives it a ride to left, but again, foul.
That's the second big pull we've seen in this inning.
Yeah.
Both had good chances to get out if fair.
Well, this is where that depth league. Sundstrom showing bunt, pulls back. Pitch missed, counts 2-1. It's not a bad idea either. Sundstrom's got that blazing speed.
Yeah, no, and that's impressive, especially from a guy sort of known as a power bat. It's something you see a bit less, is being able to round the bases with great efficiency, and so he plays both parts of that off.
Gets under it, popping it up on the infield.
Texas Tech, number 3, Loudon Brooks.
In spite of that infield fly, we'll see what Loudon Brooks can do to try to continue this inning and hopefully grab another lead.
So much riding on this game, so many implications. The Lincoln Potters, there's a pickoff move over to first, are trying to lock down a playoff spot. Have an outside shot still at catching the Packers in the north. It could happen. Brooks fouls it off to the right side. But they're just trying to punch their ticket to slow. Secure that 1 seed. They can control their own, which everybody can, of course. Pickoff move to first, and a leaping grab over there from Casey Vogan to keep it from going all the way down the line.
Yeah, offline high there. Some nice vertical leap. To be able to snag that one, that could have been detrimental for the Potters this late in the game.
But what I was getting at is having the 1 seed, obviously you have the most favorable path to the title game.
But I will say it is a little interesting that your two teams kind of both sides of the playoffs, both trying to get different results, but at the end of the day, needing this win very desperately against one another.
Gibson looks in. 0-2 the count to Brooks. The pitch. Fouled straight back. And win in last night's wild game, I know that fired up that team. Got to hear firsthand from one of their players what it meant to them up in the press box after that game. Swing and a miss. It gets all the way to the backstop. Shields fires to first. It's in time. But Blake McDonald makes it up to second.
Commenting for the Packers, number 1, Jake Holcroft.
See if Holcroft can give the Packers the lead back. Runner in scoring position and 2 outs.
A solo shot earlier this game. Has great contact, so he's a quality choice to have in this sort of tight situation. We'll see if he can capitalize on it.
Gibson steps off, and the battery will have a chat on the mound.
It gets the foul ball, winning number 498. Come up here and get your signed autograph baseball, 498. Winning ticket.
Well, Andy, I can't think of another time the Packers have given up 8 unanswered and really blown this big of a lead.
Yeah,
I don't think it's happened yet.
I would say so. It's pretty unusual. They usually jump on early, and they keep jumping on, layering it on, and so that's why it's really hard to catch up to them. But they've had a couple scoreless innings, and they were able to capitalize.
Left some runners on base, missed some opportunities. Got a great one right here, though. This pitch misses off the plate. Interesting, the outfield is playing pretty deep. Holcroft grounds it to the right side. Wiesenborn fields on a hop, throws to first in time. That'll end the inning. Packers strand a man in scoring position. We're still tied up at 8, heading to the 8th, right after the break.
I'd like to thank all of our host families. They are housing all of these collegiate athletes. Big tip of the cap, and thank you to our 22 host families. Fantastic, thank you. Top of the 8th inning for the Potters. CSU Monterey Bay, number 29, Casey Logan.
Welcome back to the broadcast. In the top of the 8th, Prune Packers and Potters knotted up at 8 apiece. Tyler Stasiowski back out for his second inning of relief. Falls behind 1-0 to Casey Vogan. Swing and a miss on a foul tip there.
A couple runners did cross in his relief last inning, but he can't be there when he got on the mound. Tough relief from Grant Cherry, who's overall this season been one of the more reliable relief options, I would say.
2 balls, 1 strike. And they could have been out of that inning if it wasn't for an error on Carson Crawford. And this one runs in to hit Vogan. So the Potters get the leadoff man on base. Now at the top of the order coming up.
Number 13, Jared Greenwell.
You know, the Packers usually at this point in the game, especially at home, don't see this sort of type of contention. We'll see how the pressure will affect their level of play. Hopefully that they're able to cinch their 22nd consecutive win here at home.
First pitch to Breedwell is popped up. Left.
The all-important first out secured.
Back next from CRJC number 7, Zachary Chamizo.
There's Zach Chamizo, who hit into that error. Could have been a double play. But the second baseman, Crawford, threw it into left field. By the way, with that, Zach Vuletich moving over to second. Jared Sundstrom is in right. Runner takes off with the pitch. McDonald's throw is in time.
You know, I don't think I've ever seen something like that. It was very offline to the left side. Over there at short, Brooks was able to sort of dive across to put the glove on.
Yeah. Like you mentioned, the throw was offline, but it beat him by a couple. Brooks had time to lunge across the base and apply the tag.
That's an important second out there, especially now no runners on. Sets up much better for Stasiowski.
2-0 now with 2 outs on Chamizo. Fastball's in for a strike. This one hit hard to the left side and through the hole. The left field for a 2-out base hit.
Back next for the Potters.
Walden smoked an RBI double his last time up. He's 1 for 4 on the evening. And it was in the 8th inning last night that Walden clutched up and hit a 3-run shot to give his team a lead that they would not relinquish. First pitch is in for a strike. This is a huge out to get right here. And it'll be 2-3-4 in the Packers order in the bottom of the 8th. Swing and a miss. Off-speed pitch, caught him off guard.
Swinging for the fences on that one.
No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Pickoff move to first. Chamizo back in.
Not a bad idea. I mean, most pitchers, when they're 1 pitch away from getting out of it, won't throw over. The chance he was going off first motion, that was a pretty solid pickoff attempt.
Another pickoff move to first, and he's back in safely. Ooh, that was close.
I don't think you get much closer than that. I mean, would have been a very emphatic way to get out of the inning.
left side, out of play. Now let's see if the Packers can give the Potters a taste of their own medicine in the bottom half. This game playing out very much like the one we saw last night. And out there in front of the wall by Jared Sundstrom for out number 3. Well, let's see if Zach Vuletic can get things started away, and let's see if the Packers can get the lead before we head to the 9th. We will be right back with the bottom of the 8th inning, all knotted up at 8, coming up after the break.
Traxton Wine, and of course, a tip of the cap to all of our 2022 sponsors. Couldn't do it without you. We thank them all. We're going to pitch for the Potters from Evansville University. Number 24, Nate Kajowski. Leading off the bottom of the 8th inning for the Prune Packers from Texas Tech, number 12, Zach Vuletic.
Zach Vuletic steps up to the plate here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Prune Packers and Potters tied up at 8. Packers jumped ahead 8-0 in the early going, and that lead has evaporated. That was largely thanks to a 6-run 7th from the Lincoln Potters. And the first pitch from the new arm out there, Nate Kajowski, misses inside for ball 1.
Vuletic yet to be retired this game, so we'll see if he can get on base. It would be very crucial to get an early runner for this. And
seen 2 really pretty breaking balls from Kajowski. Counts 1-1. Vuletic, like you mentioned, he's walked in all 4 of his plate appearances. Or 2-1.
And that's 3 in a row there, and he's behind in the count. If you're Zach up there, you got to be thinking fastball.
And this one runs up and in. That was scary. Vuletic had to duck out of the way. And the fastball just whizzed right by his head.
About as close as you get to base on a beanball. See if you can get there base on balls for the 5th time today.
See if he can get something good to hit. 3-1. Runs inside, and Zach Vuletic has walked 5 times tonight.
And that's how you contribute without having to swing the bat. That is just something I don't think I'll ever see again. 5 in one game.
Man, not even getting Kramer treatment. He's getting Bryce. A couple years ago, Harper walked like 6 times in a game during his MVP season. First pitch to Kramer, drills him straight in the back. Now the Packers have the first 2 men aboard with nobody out for Braden Runyon.
University of Mexico, number 15, Braden Runyon.
Not a great start for Kajowski. And with that, Potters are going to have a mound visit. Kind of similar to how the Grant Cherry inning started.
Yeah, I'd say so, but now there's less of a buffer for both teams, and so you really got to hope that if you're the Packers that you can capitalize as much as you can with this situation.
Of course, Fan Appreciation Night on Sunday, July 31st. Beautiful programs to be passed out, old timers, reunion, all sorts of great fun events happening on Sunday.
Hey, are you guys able to do the miles per hour?
Night. And our final game, August 2nd, Tuesday night, against the Walnut Creek Crawdad.
Mound visit over. See if Braden Runyon, he's already got 2 ribbies on the night.
Once again, Braden Runyon.
1 for 4. Vuletic at second, Kramer at first, nobody out. The bottom of the 8th.
Step up in these big situations, 5 home runs on the year, and 2 runners on with no outs. He's just got to hope to not ground out here and have a productive plate appearance.
Runyon showing bunt, pulls back. And it trickled away from Shields, but Vuletic holds up there at second.
He's seen steal third once already this game. He has 2 on the night. But decides to hold up on that one, just didn't bounce far enough away.
1-1 the count. Kajowski comes set. Comes home, Runyon shows bunt again, pulls back, pitch misses inside. Two balls, 1 strike. Nobody out. Runyon showing bunt again. It pops it up. Back behind the plate. No play is made. Counts even at 2-2.
You know, he's got to be happy that didn't result in a fly out to the catcher.
Well, there have been a couple times this year where the Packers have been in close games at home. A couple of walk-off wins. Hoping to take the lead before the 9th, though. Vuletic takes off. The throw is into left field. Vuletic is going to score, and the Packers regain the lead.
Showing off the speed and showing on that pressure right there. It's the second time he's sort of been able to get in the defensive head by just taking off when they don't expect it. Just great tenacity on the base paths. Fantastic game.
9-8 Prune Packers. They get a runner in at second. Full count pitch to Runyon. And he swings through the pitch, foul tipped into the mid of Shields for out number 1.
Next to Washington State, number 2, Sam Brown.
That is just a stroke of good fortune for the Packers.
I would say so. Make that 5 errors for the Potters, 7
My
total
goodness.
in the game. My goodness.
You just don't see it often. Here's Sam Brown. First pitch. This is downstairs. 1-0 the count. Brown had a 2 RBI triple back in the first. Big swing and a miss.
You know, even though he missed with the bat there, I gotta say, with that breaking ball, his timing was on point.
Yep. He was aiming for the home of the Hounds sign out there in right center. Long look in from Kajowski. Here's the pitch. And it misses off the plate. Good take by Sam Brown. One out.
Big opportunity here to extend the lead now that it's been recaptured.
Kramer gets his lead at second. Shortstop playing close behind him. And Brown gets a hold of it, sending it deep to right field, and it is foul. Right fielder Tremaine might have had a beat on it as it sliced into foul territory, but went past that second line into where it's just out of play. Even if you make a catch, it's still just a strike.
Fences only go so far out there, and right and left. So there's a separate line to represent.
And we're going to have time called, and Shields makes his way to the mound. About the makeup of this team after a heartbreaking loss last night. They get ahead 8-0, let that lead slip away, and then do just enough, their rally, to get it right back here in the bottom of the 8th with a chance to do more damage. Just a never quit mentality for this team. And when you have dominant teams like the Prune Packers, that's not always the mentality.
Yeah, sometimes you can get a little bit of a cockiness or some struggles in more contested. Have a lower win rate compared to the blowouts, no doubt, but they still always have that fire in them no matter what the situation, and that's what's really important. That's what's going to be important for them in the tournament. That's what's going to be important for them to finish this game out now.
Yeah. The Packers, they can scrap. They can be scrappy, that's for sure. Coach Gomes always talks about the self-belief with this team. When they're on, they can beat anybody, and Brown watches a breaking ball miss off the plate, and he's aboard with a walk.
Number 18, Sam Hunt.
Sam Hunt's had himself a nice night. 2 RBIs. 1 for 3. And there are ducks on the pond. Kramer at second, Brown at first.
Right now it's important. You want to have the best situation going for your closer in this one.
Yeah, we'll see who gets the 9th inning. Will it be Stasiowski or will it be a new arm? Not sure.
I could see them going with someone else. The only question is who. We've got a lot of pitchers who haven't seen some action, and this is a pretty important situation.
I think before he was extended, I think the easy call would maybe be Devin Kirby, which we still could see him tonight. Although he did just have a long outing on Sunday. Hunt fouls it back to the screen. It's kind of a double doink off the roof and then off the ground. We're approaching the 3-hour mark of this ball game as we inch closer to 9 o'clock here on Wednesday night. 1-1 on the way. Lifted to the left side and foul. 1-2. Well, if you're Sam Hunt here, what's the approach?
You know, you got 2 strikes on you, but the last thing you can do is ground out. So I would plate, maybe expanding your zone a little bit, sacrificing those with poor swings.
Pitch from Kajowski. Got him. Breaking ball backdoor into the strike zone for out number 2. Well, how about this? It's been a little while since Blake Burke has played. He was made of. Here he is with a chance to potentially break this game open if he can get a hold of one, like we know he can. Like we've seen a lot, Blake Burke pinch hitting for Blake McDonald. Seen that a few times this year.
Oh, we have.
Swing and a miss.
Not bad with the power bat here to go breaking ball first pitch and worked like a charm. Got him to chase low there.
Well, Blake's not there. Takes his big cuts. 0-1. And he lines it back up the middle into center field for a base hit. Here comes Kramer. He scores, and it's 10-8 Packers. Welcome back, Blake Burke.
Talk about clutch. Hasn't seen a pitch all game. And the second one he does, cracks it right up the middle for that all-important insurance.
Jared Sundstrom.
And Blake Burke coming out of the game. Pinch running over there is Kimball Schuessler. Job well done, Blake Burke, and he gets a nice hand as he walks back to the dugout. And this team just does not quit. They've been in a couple of quite frankly, the last 3 games have all been dogfights.
Running for Blake Burke.
And they got the comeback win on Sunday after trailing 7-2, came back to win it in extras. Erased a deficit late in the ballgame last night, ultimately couldn't get the job done, but showed a lot of fight in that game. And this one, lead. As this pitch gets away from Shields, both runners advance. Stuck with it, never lost sight of the task at hand, and now put themselves in a position to close this ball game out in the next half inning.
And this has sort of been a redemption game. It was not without mistakes, but outplay the Potters in this one. You know, those walks, wild pitches, errors that they provided defensively sort of helped them get the lead that they had, and now it sort of helped them climb back into this one.
Big cut from Sundstrom, fouls it off at the plate. Two down. Brown at third, Kramer at second. 2 home in the inning for the Packers. And Sundstrom gets a hold of it, sending it to left, and right in front of the wall is Walden to make the catch, ending the inning, but the Packers surge ahead. They're up 10-8 with a chance to finish this thing off coming up in the top of the ninth inning.
Pete Rose collects his 3,053rd single, passing Ty Cobb as baseball's all-time singles king. Pete Rose passing Ty Cobb for singles in Major League Baseball. This day in baseball history, 1984. Coming to pitch for the Prune Packers, number 17, University of Pennsylvania, Ed Sardi. Leading off top of the ninth inning for the Potters, for Baylor, number 30, Cole Tremaine.
Prune Packers looking to close out. Fantastic victory in which things got a little hairy at the end of the ball game, but Packers pull ahead in the last half inning to take a 10-8 lead on the Potters, and looking to get the save is Ed Sardi. Working for the second straight night. First pitch to Cole Tremaine is a fastball right down the middle for strike one. And Ed Sardi last night gave up the 3-run shot to JT. Love to see Coach Gomes letting him get a shot at redemption.
Yeah, you know, called players, and redemption is going to be an important thing. And so not only for the team redeeming themselves getting this win, but for him to get up there, hold the lead, and get this save is going to be important for the morale of this team.
0-2. Hit over to short. Brooks has it. Throws to first. Out number one.
Better to Sacramento State University, number 21, Garrett Crenshaw.
That'll bring up Garrett Crenshaw. Crenshaw's 0 for 3, walked and scored in the 7th. Crenshaw faced Sardi last night, struck out swinging. First pitch. This is downstairs. If you had to single out the biggest moment of this ball game, Andy, what would it be?
You know, there's a lot that you could go to, and I think we'll see when the game's done. But I gotta say, if it was an individual moment, most likely one of the defensive errors that sort of allowed them to climb back into this game. It was kind of a real turning point in it overall. But for the win, we have to go with maybe even the Holcroft solo shot was just a real good morale boost, and we scored some more runs that inning as well.
If I had to pick, I'd say, I think that Blake Burke single. Obviously,
important insurance run.
It was after the Packers had the lead, but like you mentioned, the insurance, it's a big deal. 2-1 on the way. Popped up to the left side, but foul. Now we have a pretty good idea as we enter the final week of the season who's starting, who's going to be in relief. The roles are pretty much set. And I think the back end of this bullpen, there's still a lot of question marks heading into the state tournament. There's a swing and a miss. Big strikeout for Ed Sardi. And the Packers have the Potters down to their final out.
Now batting, University of Mexico, number 16, Chase Rosenborn.
But if they can get Ed Sardi going like he was at the beginning of the season, and this is one of the elite relievers on the team when he's going right.
And what a way to get the ball rolling, put him out in a second game, give him a chance to sort of get that forward momentum that you're looking for in the offseason, postseason.
Weissenborn up, and he has been on fire tonight. 3 legs of the cycle, home run, double, single.
A thorn in the side of the Packers defense and Packers pitching.
This one fouled back to the screen. Weissenborn didn't start in the game last night. It was a late entry. Has made his presence felt tonight. Chops this one foul at the plate. And the Potters are down to their final strike.
What a way it would be to get a win here. Extend this home streak against a valiant rival.
10-8 Packers. This game has pretty much had it all. And the Packers close out the Lincoln Potters and get win number 22 at home in a row. Starting pitch. This one grounded to short. Brooks, Fields, throws to first. In time. Ball game.
Packers. Big round of applause for both the Potters and the Packers. Great game, man. Great to have all.
A resounding 10-8 victory for the Packers over their rival Lincoln Potters.
Supporting all of these young
And comeback, if you will, complete. Prune Packers improved to 33-8 overall, 22-8 in CCL play. The 15-14 in CCL play. And Andy, it is officially official. The Prune Packers win the CCL North for the second year in a row.
And, you know, they got to be feeling good about that, and they can play with a little less pressure for the rest of the season. But what a fantastic game it was. And as you mentioned, come back as you were, even though they never gave up a lead. It was very neck and neck towards the end of that ball game, but able to just squeak out ahead.
I mean, at that point, the momentum was in that top of what was it, the 7th inning, squarely on the side of the Potters.
Without a doubt.
But a nice job by Stasiowski to limit the damage. Back in the dugout. And while the Packers didn't immediately respond, they get 2 runs. And again, that depth playing huge dividends late in the game. Being able to go to Sundstrom and Blake Burke off the bench, huge.
Those are important at-bats, and as we saw, they got on base and they produced as they were supposed to, even with limited opportunities to do it.
And he picked for player of the game, Andy.
Yeah, we haven't discussed it. I've got to go with Vuletech personally.
Oh, my
I mean, just 5 walks. I mean, he's seen the ball fantastic. I'm not sure if it was ruled a steal on that final one, but just really pushing the defense of the Potters to its limits and just doing a great job running the bases. Just fantastic. Nothing like I've ever seen from a guy who hadn't even gotten a hit in the game.
I concur. Zach Vuletich has got to be the player of the game. I mean, he was never retired. 5 up, 5 at-bats, 5 walks, and he scored, count it, 4 times.
Wow.
Zach Vuletich, and he was a nuisance on the base paths, and he caused that errant throw into left field, which ultimately turned out to be the winning run. Well, that'll do it for tonight's ball game. Once again, final score 10-8 Prune Packers over the Lincoln Potters. They clinched the CCL North, and the next milestone to look out for is if they can secure the number 1 seed in the state tournament. I want to thank everybody for tuning into the broadcast, and we will be back right here on YouTube for tomorrow night's game against the Walnut Creek Crawdads. From Rec Park and for Andy Campbell, I'm Hayden Weber.